New Zealanders have every right to be very suspicious of this government.
The Honourable Minister, Paula Bennett.
Well, Mr. Speaker, how ironic that we have a member of the previous Labor government's cabinet who has just sat down in her seat, who happened to be one that put blinkers on with the troubles that were going on with GCSB, which go right back, quite frankly, to that time. No troubles, she says then, no troubles then at all. Has that member then read the report, which quite clearly slates it right back over a long period of time where the blinkers were on, ignore what's going on, head down. Here you have a government where the Prime Minister himself pulls in one of our most senior civil servants to actually go in and to look at what's happening, to present what I thought is a very, very in-depth report which actually shows what needs to be done and what is most important. And here we have, she's been playing some cards there, but now it's time she got into work, as to what we see as conspiracy theories from the opposition that quite frankly do not wash when you read the report and you see what needs to be done. But I say to you, Mr. Speaker, that it's quite clear that there are no ideas coming from the other side. They're frustrated because they're not making any leeway. They've started clutching at straws, which is what we're seeing. So this week alone, to give you an indication, Mr. Speaker, is we have seen the biggest fundamental changes to welfare that this country has pretty much ever seen. And what have we had from the opposition? Not one question. Not one question in Parliament about the biggest welfare reforms that are going through Parliament. So we get this sort of faux mock anger occasionally, and I notice that Mr. Twyford there has found his little mock anger, so he stands up and does it, and I heard various speeches last night. What I don't hear is solutions, and what I don't see is any real heart in it as to what they would like to see for people, because what it is it's all this little bit of mock anger, but they don't really mean it, if they can be clear, because actually they know the public are on side. And as much as they would like to, they know that there's no big protests in the street, that actually people aren't being kicked out unnecessarily, that they're getting the sort of support that they need, that they deserve when they need it, but we're balancing expectations and being fair and reasonable. And they know that, because quite frankly the Labor Party and New Zealand First and the Greens are hearing that out in the community. So they sort of stand up in here and do the odd little sort of belly dance around welfare reforms, but we don't really mean it. Because if they did mean it, they would actually be doing questions in the House, they would actually be doing rallies, they would be doing all sorts of other stuff to try and hold us to account. But quite frankly, we could talk about their competence in actually getting their message across. I think it's a combination of competence but actually not really believing it, because they know that this country knows and really believes that this government is on the right track when it comes to welfare reforms, supporting people and getting stuff right.
Point of order, the Honourable Member Andrew Williams.
Order. The Minister is not speaking on the subject of this debate.
No, Member, we sit down. That's a frivolous interjection, and I'm almost tempted to let the Minister start again. Almost. I call the Honourable Paula Bennett.
Are we on the general debate?
It's a general debate.
It's a general debate, Mr. Williams. If you're going to be in this place, keep up, yeah? So actually what's happened is the special debate has stopped and we're now on general debate where we can traverse, and this is the problem. I mean, it's kind of like I'm 4.5 years in the job. We've now made the biggest fundamental changes that we have to welfare. We are seeing more people get better results. And I don't know if everyone saw the Herald this morning, but we had the story of a young man who is actually, because of our welfare changes, is seeing a change in his life. So at 22 years old, and he's had it a bit rough at times, 4 children, has not been in work before and had the sort of opportunities that he needed. Because the one that was under his care, turning 5, we said to him, it's time that you looked at work and what could happen. So an automotive industry in Palmerston North took him on. They brag about what a great worker he is. He talks about what a difference that has made to him and his children's lives and how he's turning it around. And that is thanks to the support he has got, the clear expectations on what he can do for his family, and quite frankly, Labor don't know what to do with it. Here we are in the general debate, it is Wednesday, this Parliament's sitting, we hear there's the biggest scandal ever, and we have how many people sitting in the opposition benches? You know, pretty much none. The cameras will be scanning and they will see that actually Labor's heart are not in actually standing up as the opposition. It has been abysmal. It has been a bit of a joke. And unless people are really willing to stand up and be counted and see themselves as the party that hold it up, what we're seeing at the moment is a real balance. We are seeing people get into jobs. And we are, and we'd like to actually have the where are the jobs, nothing's happening, and talk it all down and make it doom and gloom, and this is the worst thing that's ever happened, and everyone, and Mr, you know, I sort of see their, I see their sort of headlines where they try and put them out, where they have the biggest boot in the guts since 91 cuts, welfare reforms mark the end of the social contract, Mana is opposed to this all the way, kids need a government that cares, not punishment, but none of it means anything for the paper it's even printed on, because they know that this is fair, they know that this is reasonable, and they know that fundamentally this is making a difference in the families that are most vulnerable in this country, that they will see this having the kind of heart. So I challenge that member to stand up and campaign on running this stuff back. I challenge that member to go around this country saying that they will run back on all of those proposals that have happened and the welfare reforms that have gone through. Because what has actually happened is we have seen fundamental changes in the difference of families' lives. We believe in them. They believe in their own ability. They don't really get into the hand-wringing victimisation stuff that actually Labor tries to do. We are making a difference and we are seeing results for it.
Order. Just before I call the Honourable Member Stephen Browning, can I just remind members that interjections are predicated on the presumption that the members interjecting has the call. I've seen two members interjecting on each other who do not have the call. I call the Honourable Member Stephen Browning.